The indivisible atom. So it's kind of interesting to go back and look at the history of science, ideas about science. So this guy, Leucippus, back in the 5th century BC, and Democritus, 460 to 370 BC, they recorded ideas pertaining to atoms. Democritus suggested, as I was telling you about the piece of gold, that if you took matter and divided it into smaller and smaller pieces, that you would eventually get to a piece that could not be divided. And that was a really significant idea. He gave them the name atomos, which is the Greek, and we call them atoms. And that word means indivisible. So that's where the word atom came from. 2,000 years later, a guy named John Dalton proposed his atomic theory. Now remember, we talked about laws and theories. A law says what happens. We talked about the law of conservation of matter. Matter is not created or destroyed. That doesn't explain why. Law of conservation of energy. Energy is not created or destroyed. Does not explain why. This is a theory. Atomic theory is an attempt to explain why atoms are the way they are. So his theory includes these ideas. Each element is composed of tiny indestructible particles called atoms. All atoms of a given element have the same mass and other properties that distinguish them from atoms of other elements. So basically he's saying that all the atoms of one element are the same as each other, and they are different from atoms of other elements. And atoms combine in simple whole number ratios to form compounds. This is a picture taken using a scanning tunneling microscope, which is a very, very sophisticated piece of equipment. And scientists at IBM wrote IBM using xenon atoms. And this is a picture. Now this is the best sort of picture that we can get of atoms. Atoms are not cone-shaped. So that's just an artifact of the instrument. But we can see that there are individual things here. And so this is it's just amazing, really, that we could get any sort of a picture, even a fuzzy picture like this, of individual atoms. Democritus, John Dalton, they did not have access to technology like this. They were just theorizing what atoms were, based not just on thinking about them. Well, Democritus was just thinking about it, but John Dalton's ideas were based on experiment as well. And all of the results lined up with this being the case.